Welcome to a Dungeon Tiles creation tutorial. In this tutorial I am going to show you how you can easily create your own dungeon tiles to enjoy your favorite RPG games. We are going to create a piece of heavily battered stone floor. Typical for the creepy dungeons where all the action takes place. But let us start with the materials we are going to use. First, we will need a piece of insulation foam. You can get one in hardware store. A piece with 1 centimeter thickness can do the job. A ruler, preferably with inches markings. A cutter. A pencil. A flat brush. Kitchen paper. A pot with water. Gloves, if you do not want your hands to get full of paint. A hair dryer. It can help to dry the painted surfaces faster. A cutting surface. My favorite is an old, bread cutting, wood surface. A rock, or broken brick. Black acrylic paint. This will serve as a base coat for our tile pieces. White acrylic paint. 2 gray tones. 1 dark, and 1 lighter. You can use your favorite colors from your favorite paints range. Any other color for the additional effects to put on your tiles. In this tutorial, we are going to need a red color. We will use it to simulate blood stains on the dungeon floor. A dark tone wash of your choice. We will use it to simulate dirty water stains on the floor. Finally, a matte varnish. The varnish will help protecting the color, and it will make the piece of foam more resilient to handling. I will not go into details for this first step, as it is easy to do. With the ruler and the pencil, we mark the foam piece with rectangles of 1 inch size. Then, we cut the piece with the size we want. And now we are ready to start. First part is the most fun one. We are going to batter the stone floor. Method 1. We push the stone against the foam surface. This will generate crevices and cuts. Method 2. Using the cutter, we make deep cuts in the tiles. This will give a special effect. Whole piece has been torn apart and removed. Before we move to method 3, we want to make the inch markings to stand out a bit more. Using the pencil, we make the inch markings a bit more deep. Method 3. Using the pencil, we mark further cuts and breaks across the stone tile. This will give the effect of stone tiles broken from heavy use. Bear in mind that we do not have to use all 3 methods. We can use any combination of them. The more we use, the more heavily battered effect we are creating. We can even skip them altogether if we want to make floors well preserved. Now, it is time to paint everything black. We start by making sure that we cover the crevices and deep cuts. To do this, we may have to thin down the paint by adding water. Bear in mind that with this technique, we have to apply the paint in 2 or 3 layers. If you want to make it faster, you may use a base coating spray. But, be sure to find one that is foam compatible, and does not destroy the foam surface. Before we apply second layer, we have to make sure that first layer dries. At this point, the hair dryer can speed up the process. I prefer using cold air to dry the paint. Once dried, we can apply the second layer. Do not be afraid to thin down with water. It will help cover any mist cracks from previous application. I personally like to paint in black the sides of the foam piece. It looks better. It fits with the stone tiles theme of the surface. It is time now to apply the first layer, the dark gray tone. Get some paint on the tip of the flat brush. Then wipe the brush on the kitchen paper. Remove a large part of the paint from the brush. Then, with the flat surface of the brush, apply gentle strokes on the surface. Because we are using the flat part of the brush, the paint should not get into the crevices and cracks. Once the paint has dried, we are ready for the second layer, the light gray tone. We use the same technique as before, but this time we apply more gentle strokes, so we can have the dark gray layer showing here and there. Before we apply different colors, we should make sure that we clean our brush thoroughly. Now, it is time to apply white highlight. We pick a bit of white paint with the edge of the brush. Before we apply the paint, we remove a large part of it. We swipe the brush on the kitchen paper. Only hints of paint should remain on the brush. We then hit gently strokes with the tip of the brush on edges and spikes. As we do it repeatedly, white paint stays on the areas hit. Time for the blood stains effect. We get a small amount of paint on the brush edge. Then, we blow vertical strokes on the areas we wish to stain. Now it's time to add some dirty water or shading. We get a good amount of wash on the brush. Then, again, with vertical strokes, we apply the shading. It can be over the blood stains to make them a bit more interesting. It can be applied also inside large cuts to enhance the effect of depth. And it can be applied on stone surface to add effective stains of dirt. Before the final step, we need to make sure that the wash is dried well. When the wash is dried, we can proceed with applying varnish. We get a good amount of varnish and start applying tile by tile. We have to avoid large amounts of it gathering up in the cracks. If it does, we will see white spots forming up. We can clean them up with a brush. We apply varnish also on the sides and on the bottom surface of our piece. This will make it more resilient to handling. Final step. We make sure that the varnish also dries. And we are done.